Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I like it like that. How y'all like the music? I like it like that. Mr. Lewis, I like the music. I like it like that. Hey, can we have some fun? Can we have some fun on a Friday? That's our new song, our new for every month. We have a different song. I like it like that, Mr. Dwayne up in Canada. I like it like that, Miss Williams. How you doing this morning? Miss Joyce, good morning. Coach Johnny, Mr. Marin's out there. I like it like that. Willie out there in South Carolina, good morning. Miss Jones out there in South Carolina, good morning. I like it like that. Miss Evelyn Phillips, good morning. Miss Natasha Ismail, Regional Director, good morning. I like it like that. Mr. Payon on Japan, I like it like that. Miss Konohara in Japan, I like it like that. Look at Miss Caroline Baker, she's even laughing. I like it like that. Sensational, how you doing? I like it like that. Hey, Sergio out in Mexico. And also Mr. Ismail, sir, how you doing? Que paso, senor? Mr. Dave Culver, the professor, I like it like that. Whoa, Mr. Carter, Mr. Casey Carter down in San Diego, I like it like that. Miss Pat, look at Miss Pat Rouse shaking her head like, Lord have mercy. Mr. Thomas, the lost his everlasting mind. I like it like that. Hello, 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 Miss Walker. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Mr. Freddie Sherman, good morning. I like it like that. Miss Botise, good morning. Mr. Chris McDowell, how you doing, sir? I like it like that. Miss James, good morning, good morning, good morning, Miss James. Hey. Miss Melissa Vaughn, good morning, good morning. Mr. Ed Navarro, good morning, good morning, good morning. Mr. Dale Ransom, good morning, good morning. Mr. Bill Howard, Miss Angelina, my prayers have been answered. I've been praying for you, young lady. Thank you so much. You are amazing, 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 amazing. I like it like that. Was that Miss Zoe, part of the Baker organization? Good morning. Miss Castro, good morning. Mr. Lance Kelly, 6 new IBOs in the business, half of them are more than qualified. I like it. I like it like that. Hey, Queen V up in New York City, good morning, good morning. Marcia Carter, I like it like that. Mr. Winston, Sir Herbert, good morning, good morning. Mr. Michael Jenkins, good morning, good morning. Edmund Smith, good morning, good morning. Kenny Epperly, I like it like that. Oh my goodness, Mr. Harrison Mill, good job you did the other day. Miss Christina, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Kimberly Garcia, I like it like that. Oh my God, Mr. Al Randolph in Oakland, California. Oakland, I like it like that. Chris King and Miss Rose Guerrero King, good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Hayes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Regional Director, Miss Phillips, I like it like that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Mr. Harold Gadsden up in Nashville, good morning, sir. Regional Drive's President, Platinum, Miss Jocelyn Driscoll, I like it like that. Wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. Miss Tracy Gilmore, good morning, part of the Baker organization. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Hernandez, que paso? Good morning, Mr. Ed Navarro, good morning. Oh, Miss Evelyn Mowski, a part of the Baker organization. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Parker, good morning. Tamara McDonald down in San Diego, good morning, good morning. Mr. Brad Kish, Regional Vice President. Woo-hoo! I like it like that. Man, we got a lot of folks on there. Mr. Brian Baker, Regional Director. I like it like that. Well, listen, we got a great call lined up, as you well know. Without further ado, this young man hails from Southern California. He's got a he's got a situation he's got to deal with this morning, and he's on his way there, so he is going to talk to us for like 30 minutes real quick. Let me tell you about this young man. He hails Southern California. You all know who he is. I sent a flyer out this morning. Make sure everybody will remind them about who's on the call every Friday this month, in the month of October. Can we even already October? Wow, let's put it this way. He's one of the craziest promotions I've ever seen outside of Martin Cerruto, in my opinion. Mr. Martin sat on stage singing, brought the house down. Les Brown was standing right next to him in the Nectar Island, hanging out with Richard Branson. I got 2 friends hanging out with Richard Branson. That's amazing. He's a father. He's a community leader. He's a mentor to thousands. He's a 1% of the 1%er. He has several SVPs in the organization. He himself is a SVP. He was here long before I got to AC, and he was already here building and building and building and building and building. Without further ado, from Southern California right now, none other than Mr. Byron Nelson, SVP, Senior Vice President. I like it like that.
Out of control. How are you, sir?
I am doing fabulous, my friend. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
Well, you look fabulous.
Man, I can't complain.
Do you know you can actually forget how to dress? I have over 1,200 square foot closet of just closets stored in another space now. I had to get another room just for my clothes that I'll never wear for I don't know when.
And your glasses, and your glasses.
Oh my God, that was a job. Let me tell you, I really did have to get 4 cases for them and then pick out my favorite 10. And that was a job. I was like, all right, let's get this thing cracking. I don't need to tell you guys about Mr. Al Thomas. He's one of my most esteemed, respected, loved, honored, cherished people in my life and thousands, if not millions of others around the world. And so just honored to be on the call with him and to be with somebody who I love and respect so much and to be able to just really collaborate efforts on such a beautiful thing. It's just amazing to me. But what I'm going to do is actually, I was thinking about it. Jebber, you got people in the waiting room. I guess they changed this. I thought it was me, but I guess they changed the settings, right? Yeah, Julian, because like all of them, and you have to go into your settings now. You can't just go to the bottom and click it and open it up. I was like, this past week technologically has been just like, I thought it was like, what they call it, Mercury retrograde or something like that. I was like, maybe the computers are all going bonkers and maybe this stuff is real, maybe the world is really flat and, maybe one of our past leaders was correct. But yeah, I'm Richard Pryor. I got jokes this morning. But what I want to do is, I want to open it up to you guys. And Jeffrey, if you can let them actually unplug yourselves, stay muted. But if you have a question, I'm gonna let you guys lead the training this morning. What I want to tell you though, more than anything else, is this is just an honor to be on here, and everybody else that is on for the first time needs to look at it as an honor. What Mr. Al Thomas puts in place as the Senior Vice President, which positions you for one of the top money earners in the world, let alone beyond ACN, who he is, and beyond the industry of network marketing, who he has been and is just really, one of the most extraordinary father, grandfather, business people, husbands. I mean, just his whole history. I think he's lived 5 lives. I'm trying to catch up to him. I'm on 3. So, he's carried every hat from personal to business and made it one of the most revered positions to just be an extraordinary, great person, just a human being who gives, loves, shares, and has accumulated wealth and abundance to give it back tenfold. And so that being said, I'm going to do my best to be able to follow up and help each one of you this morning. But I want to leave it open to you guys being able to ask whatever questions. If you could actually, have a sit down with Black Jesus and have any question you want answered, what would it be? I'm here. Not want your job, but you guys get
Mr. Nelson, this is Julian. This is Julian Lewis in San Diego.
Yes, sir.
Hey, something I wanted to ask, and for everyone as well, because people are talking about 2020 as a good thing, as a bad thing, and in your business, even in the very beginning, you had a choice to make where some things were going on up top, and you had to make a decision to plant your flag, and you were that leader, and you've been there the whole time through a transformation. And what I would ask you is, what would you say to people who are in the turbulent time? How do you anchor yourself and stay focused with your organization?
I believe people's trajectory and sight is off-centered. It's almost like in the world of business, in the business climate that we're in, it's even worse today than it was pre-COVID. And what I mean by that is that people before pre-COVID, to me, were already legally blind. They were already legally blind. And I believe in legally blind, for those that know about vision and being legally blind, that means that you still have some sight, but you can't drive with glasses. I mean, you just, things are blurred, and it's just, legally, you are not supposed to be behind the wheel. So I already believe before pre-COVID, people, the masses were legally blind. I think that in COVID times, they'll become completely blinded. And so the only way to correct that vision is to be so focused as if you truly are threading a needle. So focused, because you have the distractions are magnified. So I think, and I teach in duality and triple play, Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. So either it's a duality or a triple play. This is a duality. So one is to be totally focused, and the other is to get rid of anything that distracts you from your focus. And so how do you get rid of things that distract you from your focus? Well, you have, I mean, it's crazy, right? You got both the baseball playoffs going on and the NBA playoffs going on right now. That's a distraction, just being a professional in any professional sport, just knowing you got the duality of that. If the baseball players, whether it's the Padres or whoever's playing, or the Dodgers, are playing in their downtime watching basketball, or if the basketball in their downtime is watching baseball, they aren't going to win their championship. They are not focusing on their craft. They are not focusing on their game. They are not focusing on their sport. They could get caught up at any implosion or altercation that happens in any particular game, and emotions run high at both of those levels. But there's a reason why you have the amateurs and you have the professionals, and why there's only a few people that are professionals. It's not based on talent. It's based on skill set. And the skill set is not just the sport that you're playing. It's the skill set of focusing and having a discipline. So in that conversation, then upgrades, if you will, levels up to leadership. So the team that is actually going to win a championship in the bubble where there is no crowd, both baseball and basketball, where the environment has, for traditionally through all of time, dictated who's going to win. That's why you have home games and away games and 7 games, and same thing in baseball, however many games they play. Now you have to play against your own mind, because every game is a home game and every game is a away game. You don't have the cheering, you don't have the climate, you don't have the roars, you don't have the applause, you don't have the people clapping. You don't have any of that. All you have left is the skill set and the determination to win a game. So all of the normal elements is almost like you're used to living in the Antarctic and you're sitting up there in short pants and a tank top. How are you going to get through the Antarctic? It's going to be treacherous because you're used to, and all the, is that making sense? You follow me on that so far? So it's going to be really a matter of that duality of how focused you can be and how quickly you can eliminate when you plant your flag. Now, if your flag is not planted, it really won't matter, because you weren't going to win anyway. That's why the masses were already legally blind. They already were jaded before they came in. They never had to focus on anything so big and so mammoth and so huge, But it was one of those things. I did a training with my team this past week, and it was amazing. I actually shared, I have an arsenal of greatness. I'm gonna see if I could do this. Jibri, do I have a power of the screen where I could share something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have an arsenal of, because all I do is study greatness. There's not one person, not Mr. Al Thomas, myself, the founders, anybody that you come up with, that does not have a reference point of someone or something that they had to go through in order to succeed. So somebody had asked on my team, okay, how do I 3,000 customer points or RVP or SVP? And they had this epiphany. I said, if you can get 2 customers, you can get 200 customers. If you can get 200 customers, you can get 2,000 customers. If you can get 2,000 customers, you can get 20,000 customers. But it starts with to customers. And 85, if not higher, percentage of people fail because they fail to start. They spend more time thinking than actually getting out there and just starting. And so I want to share this. This is 2 minutes. We'll go here. Stick with me here. Nope, that's not it. And in this conversation lives
this one
getting customers. It's real simple, right? It's just a simple thing. Go here, go here, let me go here. 2 minutes of my time.
This 1 year, my father had his shop,
and he decided.
Can you guys see that, by the way?
This 1 year, my father had his shop, and he decided for whatever reason that he wanted a new wall on the front of his shop. So he tore down probably about 16 feet high and probably about 30 feet long. He just completely tore the wall down, and my brother and I had to dig a 6-foot hole. We
for
were
the foundation.
For the
Yeah,
foundation,
right.
and we would mix in the concrete by hand.
Yeah.
A year and a half. We were building this wall for a year and a half. Every day after school, we would come in, mixing concrete, putting it in the hole, doing it. And it was just myself and my little brother. And I remember standing back, looking at that wall, saying, there's going to be a hole here forever. A year and a half later, we laid the final brick.
Yeah.
And my father stood back, and he looked at me and my brother and said, now, don't y'all never tell me that you can't do something. And walked into the shop. And I learned very young,
you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day.
And soon you have a wall.
And soon you have a wall.
Yeah.
And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick.
Me too. I mean, it is amazing how people are paralyzed from.
Now, for me, I have an arsenal of that no matter who I talk to, the number one law in making money is get yourself out of the way, right? And getting yourself out of the way is the hardest thing to do, to understand why, if you will, Mr. Al Thomas has me on this call. Not because he needs another voice, not because he has not accomplished what we all set out to accomplish, or what I have accomplished, or any other SVP, RVP, or Johnson Driscoll, or any other leaders are on here. But that story in itself, I happen to know Will Smith, and to know that, I can go through him and hear that story for every person that I have ever thought of as being great or who has achieved anything massive. They all have a story somewhere in their history of having to go through something massive. And you learn from those stories, because the people that have not achieved anything great, they have not either, one, been around people that attained something great, or they haven't done it themselves. So you have to attach yourself to people that are great to truly understand what it takes to be great. That's part of why I'm writing my book, Finish What You Start, because 98% of people never finish that. They start diets, they start reading a book. If you go into a person's house and you look at their library, you will find that 90% of the books they have all have the same title rewritten a different way. They'll buy a book 5, 6, 7 times, and they'll all deal with the same topic, and they never finished one book. In fact, in my book, one of the juggernauts that I actually am doing, because those that know me in my writing, what I've been doing underground as a component to exalting me to who I'm destined to be, in the book, it actually tells you, and forgive me for cursing on the screen, but it actually tells you, what the hell are you doing in the first chapter? Just go to the 10th. You know your ass ain't gonna finish the first 2, 3, or 4 chapters. You might as well jump to the 10th chapter, read the last 2 chapters. Your ass is smart. You see what happens to the people that want to be great, for the ones that finish shit, and now you'll go back and read 1 through 9. It literally tells them that. It's like, don't even read this. Why are you reading the first chapter? How many books are you gonna read before you learn how to finish the shit that you start? And I actually have an audio piece that's done with that. That's just amazing. And that's really, you know, really understanding the stories of what Mr. Al Thomas or myself or yourself, or the journeys that many of you on that have been in past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You know, it's amazing to me, the bear traps. You know, I have, the one thing is, I say all the time, my life is under construction. Being transparent, we all have our weaknesses. Some is food, some is alcohol. Some people get high. Men, it could be women. It could be your love for, you know, buying stuff when you don't need it. Everybody has that flaw, but some people take it to the extreme. And then here's the problem. When you bring other people into the world, into your world, and make them a casualty of your world because of your character flaw. I'm gonna say that again, because y'all gonna miss this conversation. The crime is not your character flaw. The crime is incorporating other people into your character flaw and leaving them behind as a casualty of war. There's at least 5 people on this call that I'm dealing with currently. One's dealing with the fact that they don't know how to let go of drugs. Another one's going through the fact that they're trying to save the world and they haven't saved themselves. Another one's going through the fact that he's sleeping with a whole bunch of women and using ACN as a front and not even letting them know what it's about, and then killing them off and killing the spirit. That's like the worst. I mean, to be able to take somebody's spirit and not take responsibility for that, that's a hell. I've made a lot of mistakes as a woman, but never without being transparent up front. Even when I was in my trifling days, I give you 2 roads. You can choose ACN or you can choose this route, but choose. And some try to choose both, but I'm saying, hey, I gave you a choice. At least I'm transparent. I never backdoor you into some bullshit. Does that make sense? Everybody follow me on that so far? So I think it's a crime, and I can go down the list, when your character flaw incorporates others to be a casualty of your screwed up world, because you don't have the balls as a woman or a man to stand up to your own flaws and own it and take yourself down. Don't take nobody else down. So there's all this evolution of growth in being able to do this and have these stories. One of the other conversations was, so you have to have a lot of faith. That's why I'm gonna stick with this until you guys have a question. That, you know, it's like, number one, get yourself out of the way. Always get yourself out of the way. Leverage stories. The second thing is, you have to have faith. Does that make sense? And people think they understand faith. But because no matter what I say or Mr. Al Thomas says, you're listening with the filtered ear. So we gotta get ourselves out of the way. So here, let me get myself out of the way for 2 minutes. It's a very powerful conversation. It's real simple. And it's like, you gotta be feeding yourself this every freaking day. As I listen to this, it's only 2 minutes. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, let me make sure that it's shared through your speaker. There you go, got it. Okay, bam, bam, bam.
Okay, here's the deal. If you want to be successful, here's the thing you have to do. You have to jump. There is no way around it. You have to jump. Every successful person has jumped. You got to jump. You got to take a leap of faith. You got to dash off that cliff and you got to jump out there as far as you can. Now, a lot of times you stand on the cliff of life and you see other people soaring by, gliding down like a bird flying through the air. You know, they going over to the south of France. You see them on a boat somewhere. You see their family vacationing here, their family vacationing there. You see them dressing like this. You see them in New York, then you see them in London. They flying by. You know why? It's because their parachute open. But the only way to get your parachute to open so you can soar, you got to jump. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem, my friends. When you jump, I can assure you one thing. You listening? I promise you this. Your parachute will not open right away. No, that's the fear part. I promise you your parachute will not open right away. You're gonna hit them sides and them rocks. You're gonna tear your back out on them cliffs. You're gonna cut yourself. You're gonna get wounded. You're gonna get some tears and stuff like that. But eventually, the parachute will open and you'll be soaring. But here's the other caveat. Let me teach you this right here. If you do not jump, I promise you one thing, your parachute will never open. So you're safe, but you'll never soar. You got to jump. I got to go.
So you safe, but you'll never soar. See, it doesn't matter who I talk to, I'll get myself out of the way and be like, maybe you don't understand what faith is. Maybe you don't know what it is to take a leap of faith. Maybe you don't understand that you're taking it's really not a leap of faith. The real, if you will, fear or the risk is the person in the mirror. You are the risk. People, well, what's the risk if I, how much? $200 to get into a business, to be able to build a massive residual income, to be able to have an insurance policy against your dreams, to be able to wake up when you finish sleeping and have the choices to live the life that you choose. That gets into a bigger conversation I'll cover next Friday. But the reality of this is, like, in addition to the book that I'm writing, the other one is No Network, No Net Worth, that I've been writing for quite some time. But I have a priority with my PR company or my PR firm and my leadership to say, this is what I got to put out first. But when I look at my network that I built over the years, and I have a friend who has cancer right now. Actually, I have two friends that I'm working with directly with cancer. And in that, I had built an organization, an RD, that should have finished RVP, SVP. They just chose not to. It's a choice. Remember that, by the way. But I got that room up to over 500 people weekly in less than 4 months. It's probably one of my most proud organizations I've ever built. 90% doctors and pastors worldwide. I mean, I would sit down with T.D. Jakes, Bishop Noel Jones. I sat down with everybody. They all had, I had everybody in this group for about 3 years. And I mean, there was a whole lot of RDs breaking. I didn't have the space and time to finish an RVP or SVP in it, predicated on the fact that it was in a leg that already had 2 platinum RVPs, and I needed to finish SVP. And I was like, I'm never gonna finish SVP. Y'all gonna suck me into a vortex. And I wanna stay here because it's the first organization I built that was all Black, that was all within my community, all built on faith, all high-end professionals. It was freaking amazing. But the network that I built in there, the relationships that I built, one of them happened to be one of the most respected doctors in the world, literally. I mean, and he brought other doctors. They just got in, got qualified, boom, it was jamming. And it hurt my heart to have to depart that, because I was like, it's like I would have moved into that. It's what you live for. I mean, I would have never finished SVP. I was like, it's cost me 3 years. But it also cost me a lot of money not being SVP. And I had somewhere to be for my family. But the point of the matter is, I have a friend that is deep into some cancer situations. I had not talked to this doctor in 5 years. He's now pushing 90. He still has a host of call, one of the most renowned minority calls on Sunday. He has over 10,000 people on his call just on Sunday in regards to making a difference in the health industry, in every part of the health industry. I had not talked to him in 5 years, but it was like me and Mr. Thomas. I don't have to talk to Mr. Thomas for 5 years. I pick up the phone, he's like, B, it's like we don't miss a day. There's just a handful of people God plants in your world where there's just no time does not matter. when I tell you that he moved an entire day, he called the top 2 oncologists in all of the country. He got them online, one out of the country. He literally then went and got the person that I'm helping, one of them is out of the country from another country. This person comes in, they have no insurance at that moment. They have to get a CT scan because the tumor is growing rapidly. And that this person made a phone call to a friend who owns the #1 center for doing CT scans in the state of California. He gets a $10,000 CT scan. That's what it costs for thorax, cervix, and for abdominals, and have everything done. It's a $10,000 job just for the CT scan, let alone if you go into the RBGs and all the rest of that. So he literally got that done for me for $450 and moved it up and got it done within an hour of me going to see him. See, that's what ACN has given me, is a network that moves mountains. God works through this universe and allows you. People miss the true value of, I mean, I can give you a real history lesson on what I've been able to do in just the last 3 months of having a network of people that are on call. You know, there's somebody on this, I can't see, it's like 4 pages on here. I would imagine one of our most esteemed persons between myself and Mr. Al Thomas is helping me and being able to go and get a colonoscopy that normally costs X amount of dollars. Got it done at 10% of what it costs, moving around doctor schedules at the top hospital in this area through Orange County, and being able to leverage our network of having people. I can tell you about situations of real estate, of stocks, of leverage, diversified monies, of being able to have resources that are life-threatening and advancing, life-advancing, all because of what we've been able to develop and being able to make contacts for the people that have character and are pouring into people. It is priceless in the law of reciprocity for you not to receive when you start out giving with no agenda, and when you start out giving when it's completely selfless, and you give like I'm giving. And Al Thomas, he does not have to do this call. There's at least 30, 40, 50% of people on this call that are not in his money. There's at least 50+% that are not in my money. When you pour into people, and it's not based on a person earning a position, hitting a position, having a position, if that makes sense. It has nothing to do with that. See, when you plug into the system and you understand this system, the resources of people that go away, they lost their sight. Their why was weak, or they lied in the first place. Their character was flawed because they didn't commit to understanding the process and finishing what they started. See, if you only came in and you only came, what's your excuse? I don't have the people. I don't have access to people. I don't know people. It's COVID. Well, you know, I had to make some money. Well, you know, I wasn't making any money. That's all your fault. You know, you come in, wherever you go, there you go. There you are. You don't have the people skills. Just because you jump into another company or start your own other company or think you can make some micro money somewhere else, you still gonna hit that character flaw. It's either whether you have a medium that makes you a lot of money up front or it takes a while to build it, you're still gonna hit that character flaw, and it's gonna cost you because you didn't finish here. Because here you have a community that's at least committed to seeing your ass finish the game. Anywhere else, you got to go back and reestablish new relationships, establish new ties, learn a new craft, learn a new skill set, come up with money, try and fund your idea, funding this, that, and the other, and you still are going to have the ghost of your failure following your ass because you didn't sit up there and fight the demon with all the angels God sent you. So I don't understand. It took me what? Nobody asked you when you got your doctorate. All they care about is that you finish your doctorate. Nobody asked you when you made, Al Thomas, when did you make your first million? All they know is he's made millions. They don't know where, how, or where it came from. Nobody's going to ask you when you arrive at SVP how long it took you. Shit, it took me 20 years. SVP didn't even exist when I started. In fact, when I was in RVP, nobody even knew I was in RVP. They all thought I was in SVP because it wasn't their freaking journey. It was my journey. And people get to RD and think well, I was RD in ACN. Well, I was in ETL. Well, you know, I had a big organization. I got an organization, got 5,000 customers in it, but you still in ETL. And you didn't build that. Stop sitting up there telling somebody how many customers you got in your organization and you didn't build it. Somebody else built that. Or you got lucky, the harder you work, and for a small period of time, and somebody came in and brought in all those customers. You still who you are in the mirror, broke. And it hadn't got nothing to do with money. It's a mentality. I'm done for the day. I got to get to a funeral. Hope y'all got that. Church is over. I'm dressed out, Mr. Thomas. I'm sorry. You triggered. God running through me. And I'm
Sir, I know you got to go to the funeral for the family, but I thank you so much for sharing everybody out there. Hey, everybody, I just wanted to say, look, I'm going to give him the crown for the King of Wisdom. So, Mr. Nelson, you got the crown for the King of Wisdom. You got a lot of wisdom nuggets you poured on people. I couldn't get the real crown because the Queen of England would not give it up. So
I love you, and I love everybody in this call. God bless, and you guys have an amazing day. Okay.
All right, I'll be praying for you at the funeral, my friend. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Tonight, right back here at 6 o'clock.